Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me on Berets, and today we're going to be talking about Neovisions. Yes, the thing that was teased has now been revealed to be yet another reveal about a week later. I'm not surprised. But, so what exactly is a Neovision? Well, we got the teaser a few days ago, and now we have the information about exactly what it is, as well as we know the fact that there is going to be another live stream. There is, actually going to be a live stream 4.5 anniversary stream/campaign, which is kind of interesting, because I don't know what shape this is going to take. Hopefully they are taking preparations for, safety for everyone with coronavirus, especially because Miso, one of the members of these streams, has contracted it. So I really hope that they are being careful and safe. But anyway, April 29th, Part 1 at 7 p.m. Japanese Standard Time for general FFBE info for beginners. Okay, well, at least they're laying that right out. At 8:30 on the same day, Part 2 for new information and Neovision stuff. Okay, there you go. So, other than that, there is going to be a bit of a countdown campaign as well. A daily countdown quest, rewards based on global amount of clears. 5% Trust Moogle summoning ticket, a UOC ticket, a 5-star EX ticket, and an Omni Prism if we get up to the max of 450,000. That is starting April 24th to the 29th. Okay. And so what exactly is an Omni, or what is this Neovision stuff, right? Well, a Neovision is basically an 8-star without being an 8-star. You see, if you label something slightly different, but it is basically the same thing, well, technically you're not going to be in trouble. That is my early interpretation of it. How easy these things are to get, well, Alum isn't revealing it, and will probably not reveal it to the live stream, because doling out of information is probably less likely to get people, like, really angry, but at least that's kind of an assumption. I have to make some assumptions on this one. So factor 1, because this is a factor thing. All right, new crystals with a 7-star rarity base. So yeah, it does really feel like this will have a new summoning animation. There will be a new type of crystal in the pool. There is no information about whether the pool will be limited or whatnot, or whether these are fests, or whether these are in the general pool. It just says that Neovisions units can be acquired from the new crystals that appear in the summons. They will produce 7-star rarity base units, so these units are automatically going to be better than everything else that has come before them. That just is basically going to be the way things are. I will be interested to see where these units come into comparison against something like, let's say, current fest units on the JP side, because current fest units are pretty darn strong, and it'll be interesting to see how strong these new 7-star rarity base units are, but they are a brand new type of unit. You can Neovision 7-star units that you have obtained super TMRs from. So old units such as Red 13 or the old version of Tifa, if you have their super TMR, you can actually make them into 7-star, these Neovision 7-star units. If this sounds familiar, it kind of probably should. It feels really like 7 stars at this point, when 7 stars were introduced. The idea that, hey, you can take your old 6 stars and make them into these 7-star quality characters, but they're not going to be as good as the newer characters. History repeating itself. We will have more Neovision units as time goes on, but on launch, Tifa and Red 13 will be available to Neovision. Again, really just sounds exactly like the 6-star to 7-star transition, where your old units in batches will be able to come up to Neovisions, but this seems far more limited in the sense that If only Tifa and Red 13 are available to Neo Vision at the start, I wonder how big the batches will be. Again, speculation, but they might be smaller, and it may be only certain units. Also, the idea that Tifa and Red 13 are becoming Neo Vision units really makes me think that this is going to be Final Fantasy VII and CG Sephiroth. You heard it here. Alright, going on to Factor 2. EX Awakening. EX Awakening can be obtained by using two kinds of materials. By performing this EX Awakening, various elements of the units will be awakened. So there seems to be two new types of awakening materials. EX Awakening, is this related directly to Neo Visions? Is this for older characters? Is this ability improvement? I have no idea at this point. And it doesn't really give us much anything else after that, except, well, there is a little bit more in Factor 3. Kind of feel like this should still be Factor 2. Brave Shift. Brave Shift will be enabled after EX Awakening. Units can change their form during battle when using Brave Shift. Stats and abilities will change. Equipment that automatically lets you change form will be available. Okay, alright, I have a whole bunch of questions about this, but the way I understand it is that this sounds a lot like Brave Frontiers Omni units, or Omni Awakenings, or there's something I know about on Brave Frontier that seems to have a lot like this, and this shouldn't be surprising that they're just basically going to be taking stuff from Brave Frontier and putting it here, although I do think that that was not overly well. That wasn't something that Brave Frontier players super interested in, but Brave Shift happens after EX Awakening, so you have to EX Awaken units so that they can Brave Shift, so that they can transform in battle, so that their stats and abilities will change, which sounds like a pretty convoluted way of powering up your units, but I guess that's something we have to do. Next up is Brave Ability Factor 4. Powerful abilities that only Neo Vision units can learn and can be strengthened up to level 5 by using special materials. So more materials to awaken abilities, to make them stronger, okay, the treadmill is getting definitely more steps on it. Gotta say that. And Factor 5, this is the one that I think is probably the one that will be get the most unhappiness about, which is Factor 5 Vision Cards! Hey, have you been playing War of the Visions lately? Have you been playing that game? Did you not enjoy the fact that there was a split gacha or anything like that? Or the fact that Visions cards were something that you really needed to focus on as well as units? Well, good news! It's apparently coming to Brave Exvius. Neo Vision units exclusive gear, meaning that old units are going to be super devalued. I wondered why Zenaida as well as Aiko was just so strong. This is probably why. By equipping it, you can obtain various effects such as stat increase. You can strengthen them and increase their level by combining them with each other. Again, this sounds really, really, really similar to War of the Visions, as well as just another thing that you attach to your characters to give them more stat boosts. And that's basically all the information we have right now. So it seems like there are going to be a new rarity of units. Those units will probably be more difficult to get. Exactly what the rates are, we don't know. Probably going to have to wait till the live stream to find out. It could be that Neo Vision units become the new 3% or 5%, whereas rainbows become much more common. I think that's pretty likely to happen, which could mean just more rainbows in the future. Hey, that's a good thing. The new harder to get units, probably not going to be a thing that people will like. However, hey, you don't need multiple copies of them. That's good. But we don't know the rates yet, so this really does feel like a Krusty the Clown if you watch the old Simpsons, where it's like, you know, this is the good thing, but this is the bad thing. This is the good thing, but this is the bad thing. Also, should be noted that they are going to be doing a campaign where you will get a Tifa and be able to super TMR that Tifa, but Tifa's a pretty old unit. and I very much doubt she will be as good as whatever the first 7-star base unit is, although it's totally going to be Sephiroth. Almost guaranteed, unless they are debating us by being like, hey, look, it's Final Fantasy VII. Oh, it's rain! Whatever. But yeah, and from there, there's also EX Awakening a unit, then figuring out how to do Brave Shift with exclusive equipment or some special type of equipment, and then Brave abilities that also need to be leveled, and vision cards that need to be leveled. And that's another question that is a big question mark that is worrying. Are vision cards going to be put into the gacha as well? Are they going to have a separate gacha? I'm not doing this to stoke fear. These are legitimate questions that are going to be into the future. But overall, my impression of this seems to be that it is the 7-star era repeating itself all over again. We are going to have a new, more powerful type of unit. Yeah, they're not labeled as 8-star. I think at some point, Alum/Gummy said that they were not going to do that, that they would never do that. So, hey, guess what? We relabeled it as something else, although it's basically an 8-star. Or this is just another stepping stone towards 8 stars. Hey, 7-star units, eventually you're going to be able to awaken them to 8 stars, and they'll have another type. Again, progression wheel. I'm not surprised by this. I'm not overly angry by the fact that it is. It's just the slow leading in of this just feels like it's slowly breaking bad news to people, right? Like, also the fact that maybe this was originally planned for the 5th year anniversary, but got sped up. There are a lot of different theories that you could throw out there. That what is here, it does feel just like 7 stars all over again. And it kind of is, because there are going to be the 7-star rarity. You're going to have old units that will be awakened up to this new tier with a harder to get tier of characters. And even if whatever characters that are getting this awakening to Neovisions isn't necessarily everything. That doesn't read the way it sounds. The way it sounds, if you read back to Factor 1, is we will add more Neovision units as time goes on, but on launch, Tifa and Red 13 will be Neovision. In other words, meaning that only 2 of the old, out of all the old 7 stars, only 2 units are getting Neovisions, which means that you need to specifically have those 2 units super TMR'd to get them up to speed. And it does feel like just another layer of stuff to spend on, which at this point in Brave Exvius, either you're going to go for it or you're not. I don't think there's any point in being super outraged about this. This just feels like more progression, right? It's just more progression because they were getting to the end of what they could sell for in the Fest unit and whatnot. But how shady can this system get is the question. Are there going to be super TMRs for these new 7-star rarity units? How many copies do you need of them? Do you need 2? Do you need 4? All of these, there are still way too many details to throw a concrete whether I hate this or not yet kind of thing. And that is the part that I unironically hate about this, is the fact that this is doling out information. It is the slow rollout of information so people don't get angry like they did with 7-star. When 7-star was announced and bad news came out all at once, people got really annoyed about it. So much so that Alum needed to backpedal and change their plans. If you remember, 7-stars originally needed, 6 copies of a character to super TMR them? And yeah, there are still too many details missing about this to automatically say this is good or bad, but it is a potential another layer of expensive. And to that reason, I'm not overly enthused about it. This doesn't feel like 7-stars, or like when the 7-star announcement came out and it was like, oh, this is kind of exciting. This feels like been there, done that. There's nothing overly amazing or impressing about this. It is nice that they are going to give basically everyone a Neo Vision from the start. That feels really, really cool, because obviously letting people test out and see whether it is good or not is a good thing. It is very much a good thing, although I am not expecting Tifa to be the most incredible thing ever, because there is just going to be a new banner, and it's probably going to be a CG villain banner. Again, Sephiroth. Anyway, I've rambled about this enough. Overall, I gotta say that I don't like the way that this is necessarily being announced. From a business perspective, I think it's pretty smart, because you gotta give players something new to work towards, and, you know, the fast system has gone on long enough. Time to move on to the next thing, right? So we did the 6-star to 7-star thing. That went on for a long time, and then the fast thing came along, and now it's the Neo Vision thing. It's just rinse and repeat in terms of cycling out units for how useful they are and whatnot. The real meat and potatoes of this update and this new feature is going to be just how much better or worse it makes players' lives. And those details are still very much missing in this announcement. But to my overall evaluation of this announcement, while it is smart from a business perspective, I personally don't like it, because it is hiding the real details behind this. And we have to wait yet another week for something that I have now lost pretty much all excitement for, because it's just, again, we're going through the motions. We've gone through the motions on the 7-star, we've gone through the motions on Vests, and now it's just going to be Neo Visions everywhere. So how hard, how difficult are they going to be? How necessary are vision cards? What are the rates? What are the drawbacks to this system? How difficult is it to get all of these awakening materials? How much, in general, more work is it going to be to make these units? And what does the content look like in the future? I expect a very similar rollout to the way 7-stars were done initially, where it's just going to be that kind of thing, except, I guess, less Neo Vision type units. But yeah, doing the original Tifa and not doing Advent Children Tifa, that sure screams to me that it is FF7 for the month of May. So there you go. Maybe Sid will get a Neo Vision unit too. Maybe that's his prize for just not being in the game for so long. 7-star base unit Dragoon, here we come! Alright, you guys, so let me know what you think in the comments. Are you excited for this? Are you 100% against this? Are you somewhere in between? Do you think that this system is going to crash and burn, or just continue as per usual? Because at this point, well, if you didn't quit for other stuff, why would this make you quit? Anyway, let me know what you think, and I guess we'll see you in the live stream next week, which I will definitely be live streaming, because either good or bad, it's going to be entertaining. And that's the real fun behind all of this. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.